Behind every great man is self belief. Behind every great man is a great test that every great man will face. And it's the ability to recuperate and recover after he's betrayed himself. Whether it be because of a woman, whether it be because of money, of friends, of his family, anything that is not because of himself, of a conscious choice, but rather choosing to please someone, please something other than as God and himself in that moment. They say behind every great man is a great woman, but most great men actually fall because of women. In the scriptures, off the top of the head, Adam, Samson, King David, King Solomon. I wouldn't call King Ahab a great man, but he fell because of a woman. But then we have to ask ourselves, how did these men respond? How will you respond? Because behind every ambitious man should be self belief. If you're lacking self belief, or if you're overly arrogant, which I think every man is a bit arrogant, because man was made to be humbled, not humble, you have to ask yourself, why do you lack self belief? And most of the time, it's because you haven't put yourself, keyword, put yourself through a situation where you are completely broken down and built back up. You see, the Most High put me through my collapse. Rather, I put myself through that collapse, not intentionally, unintentionally. And now I look back 2 years later, 2.5 years later, with this great self belief. And it goes to show you that I was not confident in myself, but rather I've always believed in myself. And this is something that cannot be, you know, just, I guess you could say, taken or faked. Confidence can be faked. Confidence is expressed through belief in something that you know you're good at. Self belief shows up regardless if you're good at something or not. But today's topic is not about self belief. Today's topic is going to be about the gap between knowing who you are and waiting for the world to move the way you want it to. You see, there's a struggle that all of us great men deal with, all of us ambitious, competent men. And it's the fucking gap between knowing who you are and having to wait to get what you want. Fucking hell. It is one of the worst hells that we have to deal with. I've built a business before, the car detailing business. It was really one of my first great accomplishments. It took me a year and a half of overthinking, hesitating, negative thoughts, feelings of unworthiness, imposter syndrome for that business to get off the ground. It took one day for me to press the on button from off to on Meta ads for me to get that campaign up and running. It took me 3 months to really figure out the ad copy, the technique, and the skills and all that. So in that year and a half, it really took me a year and 3 months to get over myself. um, and right now, like as I wait for the Most High to align things to the way that He deems good for me, of course, as He deems I'm ready for, there's this impatient gap that we must all go through and sit through. And this is really the test of your self belief. Can you still stay believing in yourself, still run the endurance of life while having to wait through this period. You know who you are. You've done the work. You're putting out the external work. You're uploading the videos. You're writing the right sales copy. You're getting on calls with clients, but nothing seems to be going your way. This is the test of every great man. Maybe you collapsed before. Maybe you've fallen under the pressure and you've had to build yourself back up like I have. Through the grace of the Lord, of course. But now you sit with fuck. Now I gotta wait for everything to fucking line up. And this is really gonna be a video of exhortation and explaining why these things need to happen. The path of building the lifestyle that you want is not for everybody. And it takes a man with self-belief, with a great amount of self-belief, to stick it through, to know that, hey, it could take a year, it could take 2, it could take 3, it could take 5, it could take 10 for you to walk in your anointing. It took King David, I want to say, at least 12 years before he actually got the crown placed on him as the king of Israel in the scriptures, which is crazy because he was anointed young. So he always knew he was meant to be a king. He just never got the crown until 12 years later. And a lot of us, quite frankly, our self-belief is exposed when we realize how impatient we are. How you have to sit through the discomfort of waiting for the world to respond to who the fuck you are. And fucking hell, it is hard. It is very hard because a lot of times, as ambitious, competent men, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to produce, and we cannot control outcomes. We cannot control results. So when you live, and many men live like this, with this pressure of needing to produce and always feeling behind and restless, it's a test of your self-belief. And the shit that sucks is that you can't stop producing because you need to put in the seeds to make sure they sprout, and they're ready to sprout in their time. And a lot of us will find ourselves looking for relief from the hustle and bustle, looking for comfort, looking for pleasure, just to escape the discomfort of this gap, the gap between the world knowing who you are in that moment versus you knowing who you are. And it is a constant battle between your spirit and the world, because I know for myself, as I've observed with myself, during these times where I'm waiting for things to align, I find myself impatient. I find myself wondering, when the fuck is the world gonna know my name? And let's be honest, we're all men that are ambitious, that have a great level of self-belief. With that great self-belief comes entitlement. Like, I know I've had thoughts like this. This girl rejected me. Who the fuck does she think she is? Like, who the fuck does she think? Does she not know who I am? Does she not know who I serve, especially if you're a man in the Lord? Does she not know what she missed out on? And this gap, this gap of impatience, of knowing who you are versus, the world knowing who you are, is so uncomfortable. But I made this video today, and I'm making it today, so give you guys who are going through this gap exhortation to say, keep going. I'm not a motivational type guy. I don't need fucking motivation to fucking keep going. Because I'm a man who does not fucking quit. That's who the fuck I am, right? And for you guys that are on the verge of quitting, you guys need to install this to your software. You have to run this endurance race, and you cannot skip it. See, I used to fight myself a lot Fuck, why do I always gotta do the hard things? And why the fuck do I always gotta be the one pursuing and feeling like I'm chasing something? Wait, if you feel like you're chasing something that you want, why does it feel like work? Shouldn't it feel like expression? And that's the realization that I was hit with. You are doing something that you want to do. Nobody's forcing you to be a great man. You're choosing to be a great man. Wouldn't you rather know and accept and embrace that you're someone that has to go out there and conquer and accept that part of you that has to pursue, that has to chase because shit does not happen easy for you? Which, ironically, when you accept that part of who you are and instead of dreading the journey of the hunt, you'll find yourself enjoying the hunt. You'll find yourself suddenly now having more capacity to produce. So the gap between who you are and who the world sees you will now close because now you're finding yourself expressing who you are instead of performing who you are, instead of trying to always keep it together. The test of self belief is real for every man, but many men do not make it past the first level, which is even starting. Maybe you're someone who started before and you stopped. And I know that self betrayal, it hurts like a bitch. See, me, I'm not willing to betray myself like that. I have. And I'll tell you, I would have rather died than to do that shit again. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I see so many men in their lives, co-workers, that you could see in the light of their eyes that there's something that they really wanted to do and they never lived up to it. They never gave themselves permission to live life the way they wanted to go after their dreams and their aspirations. Do you want to be that man? I know I don't. I love myself way too much to do that shit. I love my God way too much to betray him like that, to know that I betrayed the gifts that he gave me, which is really what the parable of the talents is about. It's hiding your gifts from the world, dimming your light because other men think your light is too big. The test of self-belief is so beautiful, man, because it really shows you who you are. Most men are afraid to discover who they are because they cannot sit through the uncomfort. And I'll tell you what's helped me, because I've been here many times, many fucking times. I'll tell y'all, like many times. Acceptance that that's just who you are, that you're a man with, honestly, you're a great man with a high level of self belief, that you have to accept who you are on that level, accept that that's the way you were made and that's how blessed you are to be able to experience all facets of the hunt, all facets of conquering, of being able to know that you have the power to go after what you want. You have to build this life where you have relief valves, people that you connect with, mentors that help you and guide you through and help you regulate when you're impatient, because it will happen. When you're feeling like nothing's working and you feel like quitting, you have to have a great level of awareness to know that when you need to take a step back to recharge, you need to have a great level of friendship around you, brothers to keep you accountable, that will sharpen you, that won't sugarcoat when you're fucking up, when you're bullshitting yourself. You have to have a high level of standards for yourself to know when you're falling short and to get on your fucking ass instead of waiting for someone like me on YouTube to tell you, hey, bro, you ain't doing whatever the fuck you need to be doing. Because at the end of the day, y'all, I make these videos not to tell you what to do, to give you my perspective, but so that you guys could figure this shit out on your own. Because the greatest thing a teacher could do to a student, a brother to a brother, is to allow them to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. My aspiration for every man that comes across my page is to be better than me, figure shit out faster so they could detract from the collapse cycles that I've gone through the self sabotage cycles that I've gone through the self trust wounds that I've gone through. There's certain things as men that we can't avoid, but it's wisdom to know what bullshit to avoid. You know what I mean? And if y'all could share anything with me in the comments, let's talk about it. Because at the end of the day, iron sharpen iron. Iron sharpen iron. As men, especially in the society, in the Western society, dudes is lost out here, bruh. Great men with a great level of self belief are a few and far between. And you know the weight that we carry is not fucking easy. The gap between who you are and how the world sees you, waiting for reality to respond to who you are, is a test of endurance. Will you stand that test, or will you betray yourself for a long moment?